Okay, tonight is the 12th of August 2011, and this is the 27th night. We are speaking on the Digha Nikaya Suttas, and we've come to the last Sutta, number 34, Dasuttara Sutta. Dasuttara is supposed to mean expanding decades. Thus have I heard. Once the Lord was staying at Campa near the Gaggara lotus pond with a large company of some 500 monks. Then the Venerable Sariputta addressed the monks. "Friends, monks." "Friend," replied the monks. And the Venerable Sariputta said, "In growing groups from 1 to 10 I'll teach Dhamma for the gaining of Nibbana, that you may make an end of suffering and be free from all the ties that bind. There is, friends, one thing that greatly helps. 2, one thing to be developed. 3, one thing to be thoroughly known. 4, one thing to be abandoned. 5, one thing that conduces to diminution. 6, one thing that conduces to distinction. 7, one thing hard to penetrate. 8, one thing to be made to arise. 9, one thing to be thoroughly learned. And 10, one thing to be realized. 1. Which one thing greatly helps? Tirelessness in wholesome states. Number 2. Which one thing is to be developed? Mindfulness with regard to the body, accompanied by pleasure. 3. Which one thing is to be thoroughly known? Contact as a condition of the asavas and of grasping or attachment. Number 4. Which one thing is to be abandoned? Ego, conceit. Number 5. Which one thing conduces to diminution? Unwise attention or careless attention. Number 6. Which one thing conduces to distinction? Wise attention or careful attention or thorough attention. 7. Which one thing is hard to penetrate? Uninterrupted mental concentration. Stop it for a moment. That's why the other day I was talking about unremitting mindfulness. If your mindfulness is unremitting all the time on one object, it gives rise to samadhi. So here also the same, uninterrupted mental concentration is also similar. Number 8, which one thing is to be made to arise? Unshakable knowledge. 9, which one thing is to be thoroughly learned? All beings are maintained by nutriment, as in Sutta 33, verse 1.8.1. 10, which one thing is to be realized? Unshakable deliverance of mind. That makes 10 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. 1.3. 2 things greatly help. 2 things are to be developed, similar to 1 to 10 above. Which 2 things greatly help? Mindfulness and clear awareness. 2. Here, mindfulness and clear awareness should be sati sampajanya, which can be translated as recollection and mindfulness. 2. Which 2 things are to be developed? Tranquility and contemplation. Samatha and vipassana. Vipassana is contemplation rather than insight. We practice both, samatha plus vipassana, it leads to insight, as mentioned in Anguttara Nikaya 2.3.10, I think. Which 2 things are to be thoroughly known? Number 3, mind and body. 4, which 2 things are to be abandoned? Ignorance and craving for existence. 5, which 2 things conduce to diminution? Roughness and friendship with the evil. This one we went through the other day. Can also say roughness and evil friends. What's the other word we use for roughness? Disobedience and evil friends. Number 6, which 2 things conduce to distinction? Gentleness or obedience and good friends. Number 7, which two things are hard to penetrate? That which is the root, the condition of the defilement of beings, and that which is the root, the condition for the purification of beings. Number 8, which two things are to made to arise? Knowledge of the destruction and of their non-recurrence. Number 9, which two things are to be thoroughly learned? Two elements, the conditioned and the unconditioned. Number 10, which two things are to be realized? Knowledge and liberation. That makes 20 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. Anything to discuss here? We can stop for a moment. Okay, continue. 1.4. Three things greatly help. Three things are to be developed. 1. Which three things greatly help? Association with good people or with true men. Hearing the true Dhamma. Practice of the Dhamma in accordance with the Dhamma. Should be, here I say good people should be true men, sappurisa. Number 2, which three things are to be developed? Three kinds of concentration. I think we went through before, with vitaka and vichara, and then with vichara but no vitaka. Then the third one is without vitaka and without vichara. Number 3, which three things are to be thoroughly known? The three feelings, pleasant, painful, and neither painful nor pleasant. Number 4, which three things are to be abandoned? The three kinds of craving for sensual desire, existence and non-existence. Number 5, which three things conduce to diminution? Three unwholesome roots, greed, hatred and delusion. Which three things conduce to distinction? The three wholesome roots, non-greed, non-hatred, non-delusion. Number 7, which three things are hard to penetrate? The three elements making for deliverance. A, deliverance from sensuality, that is renunciation. B, deliverance from material forms, that is the immaterial. C, whatever has become, is compounded, is conditionally arisen. The deliverance from that is cessation. 8, which three things are to be made to arise? The three knowledges of the past, present and future. Number 9, which three things are to be thoroughly learned? The three elements. I think it's elements of sensual desire, form and the formless. Number 10, which three things are to be realized? Three knowledges. The three knowledges the Buddha attained on the night of enlightenment, knowledge of past lives, of the disease and rebirth of beings and destruction of the asavas. That makes 30 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. 1.5. 4 things greatly help. 4 things are to be developed. 1. Which 4 things greatly help? The 4 wheels. A favorable place a suitable place of residence. Association with true men. Sappurisa is true men, arahants. C. Perfect development of one's perfect development of one's personality. I think this one in the Mangala Sutta we also have this with oneself rightly guided. That means walking the Dhamma way. Then past meritorious actions. Number 2, which 4 things are to be developed? The 4 satipatthana, 10 states of mindfulness. Which 4 things are to be thoroughly known? The 4 nutriments, material food, contact, volition and consciousness. Which 4 things are to be abandoned? The 4 floods, as in Sutta 33. And number 5, which 4 things conduce to diminution? The 4 yokes, as in Sutta 33. Which 4 things conduce to distinction? The 4 unyokings, as in Sutta 33. Number 7, which 4 things are hard to penetrate? The 4 concentrations. A, conducing to decline. B, conducing to stasis. C, conducive to distinction. And D, conducive to penetration. Number 8, which 4 things are to be made to arise? The 4 knowledges, as in Sutta 33. Number 9, which 4 things are to be thoroughly learned? The 4 noble truths. Number 10, which 4 things are to be realized, the 4 fruits of the ascetic life? Sotapanna, Sakadagamin, Anagamin, and Arahanthood. That makes 40 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. Anything to discuss here? Okay, 1.6. 5 things greatly help. 5 things are to be developed. 1. Which 5 things greatly help? The 5 factors of endeavor, as in Sutta 33. 2. Which 5 things are to be developed? 5-fold perfect concentration. A. Suffusion with delight, piti. B. Suffusion with happiness or bliss, sukha. C. Suffusion with will, ceto, with the mind. D. Suffusion with light, aloka. E. The reviewing sign, pachavekana nimitta. This one, pachavekana nimitta, could be from the later books. I don't think in the suttas they mention this. Number 3, which 5 things are to be thoroughly known? The 5 aggregates of attachment. 4, which 5 things are to be abandoned? The 5 hindrances. 5, which 5 things conduce to diminution? The 5 mental blockages, as in Sutta 33. 6, which 5 things conduce to distinction? The 5 faculties, as in Sutta 33. 7, which 5 things are hard to penetrate? The 5 elements making for deliverance, as in Sutta 33. Number 8, which 5 things are to be made to arise? The 5-fold knowledge of right concentration, the knowledge that arises within one, that A. This concentration is both present happiness and productive of future resultant happiness. B. This concentration is Aryan and free from worldliness. C. This concentration is not practiced by the unworthy or untrue men. D. This concentration is calm and perfect, has attained tranquilization, has attained unification, and is not instigated. It cannot be denied or prevented. E. I myself attain this concentration with mindfulness and emerge from it with mindfulness. 9. Which 5 things are to be thoroughly learned? The 5 bases of deliverance, as in Sutta 33. 10. Which 5 things are to be realized? The 5 branches of Dhamma, as in Sutta 33, plus knowledge and vision of liberation. That makes 50 things that are real and true and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. 1.7. 6 things greatly help. 6 things are to be developed. 1. Which 6 things greatly help? 6 things to be remembered, as in Sutta 33. 2. Which 6 things are to be developed? The 6 subjects of recollection, as in Sutta 33. Number 3. Which 6 things are to be thoroughly known? The 6 internal sense spheres, the 6 sense bases. Number 4. Which 6 things are to be abandoned? The 6 groups of craving, as in Sutta 33. Number 5, which 6 things conduce to diminution? The 6 kinds of disrespect, as in Sutta 33. Number 6, which 6 things conduce to distinction? The 6 kinds of respect, as in Sutta 33. Number 7, which 6 things are hard to penetrate? The 6 elements making for deliverance, as in Sutta 33. 8, which 6 things are to be made to arise? The 6 stable states, as in Sutta 33. Number 9, which 6 things are to be thoroughly known? The 6 unsurpassed things, as in Sutta 33. Number 10, which 6 things are to be realized? The 6 super knowledges, abhinya. Here a monk applies and bends his mind to enjoy different supernormal powers, e.g. A. Being one, he becomes many, etc. Can pass through walls, can dive into the earth, can fly like a bird, can touch the sun and the moon. With the flesh body, can reach the Brahma heavens. B. With the divine ear, he hears sounds both divine and human. C. He knows and distinguishes or reads the minds of other beings. D. He remembers past lives. E. With the divine eye, he sees beings passing away and arising according to karma. F. He abides in this life by his own super knowledge and realization in the attainment of the liberation by mind and liberation by wisdom with the destruction of the asavas. That makes 60 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. Anything to discuss here? 1.8. 7 things greatly help. 7 things are to be developed. 1. Which 7 things greatly help? The 7 treasures, as in Sutta 33. Number 2. Which 7 things are to be developed? The 7 factors of enlightenment, the Bojjhangas. 3. Which 7 things are to be thoroughly known? The 7 stations of consciousness. 4. Which 7 things are to be abandoned? The 7 latent proclivities or tendencies. Number 5. Which 7 things conduce to diminution? The 7 wrong practices, as in Sutta 33. 6. Which 7 things conduce to distinction? The 7 right practices, as in Sutta 33. Number 7. Which 7 things are hard to penetrate? The 7 qualities of a true man, in Sutta 33. Number 8. Which 7 things are to be made to arise? The 7 perceptions, as in Sutta 33. Number 9. Which 7 things are to be thoroughly learned? The 7 grounds for commendation, as in Sutta 33. Number 10. Which 7 things are to be learned? The 7 powers of an arahant. Here, for a monk who has destroyed the asavas, A. The impermanence of all volitions is well seen as it really is by perfect insight. This is one way whereby he recognizes that for him the asavas are destroyed. B. Sense desires or sensual desires are well seen as being like a pit of glowing embers, can burn us. C. His heart or his mind is bent on and inclined towards detachment, slopes towards detachment, and detachment is its object, rejoicing in renunciation. His heart is totally unreceptive to all things pertaining to the asavas. He is detached from people and from one's desires. D. The 4 satipatthanas have been well and truly developed. The 5 faculties or indriya have been well developed. The 7 factors, bojjhanga, of enlightenment have been well developed. G. The Noble Eightfold Path has been well and truly developed. This is one of the powers whereby he recognizes that for him the asavas are destroyed. That makes 70 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. So here, these are the things that the arahant possesses when he becomes liberated. 2.1. 8 things greatly help. 8 things are to be developed. Which 8 things greatly help? 8 causes, 8 conditions conduce to wisdom in the fundamentals of the holy life, to gaining what has not been gained, and to increasing, expanding and developing what has been gained. Here, A. One lives close to the teacher or to a fellow monk with the standing of a teacher, being thus strongly established in moral shame. This is established with a sense of shame and fear of wrongdoing, in love and veneration for the teacher. He who is so placed, B. From time to time goes to his teacher, asks and interrogates him. How is that, Lord? I think it's Bhante. What does this mean? Thus his venerable teachers can reveal what is hidden and clarify obscurities, in this way helping him to solve his problems. C. Then having heard Dhamma from them, he achieves withdrawal of body and mind. D. Further, a monk is moral. He lives restrained according to the restraint of the discipline, I think of Patimokkha, persisting in right behavior, seeing danger in the slightest fault, and keeping to the rules of training. Also E. A monk having learned much remembers and bears in mind what he has learned, and those things that are beautiful in the beginning, in the middle, and in the ending, which in spirit and letter proclaim the absolutely perfected and purified holy life. He remembers and reflects on and penetrates them with vision. Again, F. A monk having stirred up energy continues to dispel unwholesome states, striving strongly and firmly, and not casting off the yoke of the wholesome. Again, G. A monk is mindful, with the highest mindfulness and discrimination, remembering and bearing in mind what has been done or said in the past. Also H. A monk continually contemplates the rise and fall of the 5 aggregates of grasping, thinking. Such is body, its arising and passing. Such are feelings, perceptions, volition, consciousness, the arising and passing. 2. Which 8 things are to be developed, the Noble Eightfold Path. 3. Which 8 things are to be thoroughly known, the 8 worldly conditions, as in Sutta 33. 4. Which 8 things are to be abandoned, the 8 wrong factors, as in Sutta 33. 5. Which 8 things conduce to diminution, the 8 occasions of indolence, as in Sutta 33. 6. Which 8 things conduce to distinction, the 8 occasions for making an effort, as in Sutta 33. 7. Which 8 things are hard to penetrate, the 8 unfortunate, inopportune times for leading the holy life, as in Sutta 33. Number 8. Which 8 things are to be made to arise, the 8 thoughts of a great man. This Dhamma is A, for one of few ones, not one of many ones, or desires. B, for the contented, not for the discontented. C, for the withdrawn, not for those delighting in company. D, for the energetic, not for the lazy. E, for one of established mindfulness, not for one of lax mindfulness. F, for one of concentrated mind, not for one who is not concentrated. G, for one who has wisdom, not for one lacking wisdom. H, for one who delights in non-proliferation, not for one who delights in proliferation of thoughts. 9. Which 8 things are to be thoroughly learned, the 8 states of mastery, as in Sutta 33. 10. Which 8 things are to be realized, the 8 liberations, as in Sutta 33. That makes 80 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. Anything to discuss here? Which one? Item? Which F? At the top there's one F, bottom there's another F. Again, a monk having stirred up energy continues to dispel unwholesome states, striving strongly and firmly, not casting off the yoke of the wholesome. Yeah? What do you want to know? Oh. Okay, 2.2. 9 things greatly help. 9 things are to be developed. 1. Which 9 things greatly help? The 9 conditions rooted in wise consideration or careful attention. When a monk practices wise consideration, A, joy arises in him, and B, from his being joyful, delight arises, and from his feeling delight, his senses are calm. D, as a result of this calming, he feels happiness. And E, from this feeling happy, his mind becomes concentrated. F, with his mind thus concentrated, he knows and sees things as they really are. G, with his thus knowing and seeing things as they really are, he becomes disenchanted. Nibbida. H, with the disenchantment, he becomes dispassionate. Viraga. And by dispassion, he is liberated. 2. Which 9 things are to be developed? The 9 factors of the effort for perfect purity. A, the factor of effort for purity of morality, sila. B, for purity of mind. C, for purity of views. D, for purification of overcoming doubt. E, of purification by knowledge and vision of path and not path. F, of purification by knowledge and vision of progress. G, of purification by knowledge and vision. H, by purity of wisdom. I, of purity of deliverance. 3. Which 9 things are to be thoroughly known? The 9 abodes of beings, as in Sutta 33. Number 4. Which 9 things are to be abandoned? 9 things rooted in craving. Craving conditions searching, acquisition, decision-making, lustful desire, attachment, appropriation, avarice, guarding of possessions. And because of the guarding of possessions, there arise the taking up of stick and sword, quarrels, lying and other evil, unskilled states, as in Sutta 15. Number 5, which 9 things conduce to diminution, the 9 causes of malice, as in Sutta 33. Number 6, which 9 things conduce to distinction, the 9 ways of overcoming malice, as in Sutta 33. Number 7, which 9 things are hard to penetrate, the 9 differences. Owing to difference of element, there is difference of contact. Owing to difference of contact, there is difference of feeling. Owing to difference of feeling, there is difference of perception. Owing to difference of perception, there is difference of thought. Owing to difference of thought, there is difference of intention. Owing to difference of intention, there is difference of obsession. Owing to difference of obsession, there is difference of quest. Owing to difference of quest, there is difference of what is gained. 8. Which 9 things are to be made to arise? The 9 perceptions of the foul, of death, of loathsomeness, of food, of distaste for the whole world, of impermanence, of suffering in impermanence, of non-self in suffering, of relinquishment or abandoning, of dispassion. 9. Which 9 things are to be thoroughly learned? The 9 successive abidings, as in Sutta 33. 10. Which 9 things are to be realized? The 9 successive cessations, as in Sutta 33. That makes 90 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. 2.3. 10 things greatly help. 2 are to be developed. 3 are to be thoroughly known. 4 are to be abandoned. 5 conduce to diminution. 6 conduce to distinction. 7 are hard to penetrate. 8 are to be made to arise. 9 are to be thoroughly learned. 10 are to be realized. 1. Which 10 things greatly help? The 10 things that give protection, as in Sutta 33. 2. Which 10 things are to be developed? The 10 objects for the attainment of absorption, as in Sutta 33. 3. Which 10 things are to be thoroughly known? The 10 sense spheres, eye and sights, ear and sounds, nose and smells, tongue and taste, body and tactile object or touch. Number 4. Which 10 things are to be abandoned? The 10 wrong causes, as in Sutta 33, plus wrong knowledge and wrong liberation. Number 5. Which 10 things conduce to diminution? The 10 unwholesome causes of action. 6. Which 10 things conduce to distinction? The 10 wholesome causes of action. Must be unskillful karma and skillful karma. 7. Which 10 things are hard to penetrate? The 10 Aryan dispositions, as in Sutta 33. Which 10 things are to be made to arise? The 10 perceptions, as in verse 2.2, and the perception of cessation. 9. Which 10 things are to be thoroughly learned? 10 causes of wearing away. By right view, wrong view is worn away. And whatever evil and unwholesome states arise on the basis of wrong view are worn away too. And by right view, many wholesome states are developed and perfected. By right thought, wrong thought is worn away. By right speech, wrong speech is worn away. By right action, wrong action is worn away. By right livelihood, wrong livelihood is worn away. By right effort, wrong effort is worn away. By right mindfulness, wrong mindfulness is worn away. By right concentration, wrong concentration is worn away. By right knowledge, wrong knowledge is worn away. By right liberation, wrong liberation is worn away. And whatever evil and unwholesome states arise on the basis of wrong liberation are worn away too. And by right liberation, many wholesome states are developed and perfected. 10. Which 10 things are to be realized? The 10 qualities of the non-learner, or the arahant, as in Sutta 33. That makes 100 things that are real and true, so and not otherwise, unerringly and perfectly realized by the Tathagata. So said the Venerable Sariputta. The monks were delighted and rejoiced at his words. That's the end of the sutta. Anything to discuss? If not, we can take a break and then we can start on Digha Nikaya.
Where do the emotions come from?
Emotions?
Yeah.
Emotions come from feelings. Feelings, when feelings multiply, you call them emotions. And feelings come from contact at the six sense doors, from seeing, from hearing, smell, taste, touch, and thinking. And then feelings arise. But if you don't think about it, feelings arise and pass away. But because there is the tendency of the mind to proliferate, so you think about it. And then one thought becomes 10, 10 becomes 100, 100 becomes 1,000. So then the feelings, the emotions can become strong, can arise, can prolong. Okay.
For chanting, taking number 4 is right liberation and wrong liberation. This is such a thing as wrong liberation.
Wrong liberation means no liberation.
There's a bit wrong between in one of the conceit. There's 3 types. There's a superior conceit, there's an equal conceit, and there's inferior conceit. Superior meaning like you think that you're better than the other person. Equal meaning that you think that you are just the same as the other person, and inferior meaning that you are less good than the other person. But all these are conceits which are independent. So how are we supposed to think? Something that is superior or equal or inferior, how are we supposed to think?
When you have abandoned them, you have become an arahant. So as long as you have not become an arahant, you will still have that conceit. You cannot abandon it unless you become an arahant.
I want to ask about the Dhammavuddho how there are 2 translations. One is wise reflection or contemplation, and the other is wise attention. Which one you think is better?
Okay, that's yoniso manasikara is a very important word because the Buddha says, if you listen to the Dhamma and you have yoniso manasikara, you can become an Arya. So this word is very important. So we analyze this word yoniso manasikara. The first word yoniso comes from the word yoni. Yoni means the womb, the source, the place of birth. And manasikara consists of mana and kara. Mana is the mind, the thinking mind. Kara is work. Okay? So the word yoniso manasikara means work of mind. You can say contemplation, you can say attention, you can say consideration, reflection. Okay? And yoniso, because it's yoniso, that means it goes to the source of the problem, goes to the womb, the source of the problem. So, for example, a good example I can bring to mind, the famous King Solomon. Sometimes there's a lot of people, they quarrel and all that. They cannot settle, they come and bring the case to the king. So one day, 2 women were quarreling over a young baby. Both also claim was their baby. It's a beautiful baby, you see. So this King Solomon looked at this problem, and then you know what he decided? He said, you 2 women are quarreling, are quarrelsome, making a lot of problems. He said, he asked the soldier, you cut the baby in 2, give half to each. Then the real mother cried and said, no, don't do that. You better give it to the other lady than to kill the baby. And then so the king found out who is the real mother. Right? So this word yoniso manasikara, you can say, it is a kind of consideration that goes to the source of the problem. So a simple translation is thorough consideration, a very thorough consideration. So more simpler word is careful attention. When you hear something, you consider it carefully, or you consider it thoroughly.
Okay, putting the second meaning, which means the tenfold attention, then is sati a kind of wise attention, or is sati a kind of wisdom power?
No. Sati is remembering to put your attention constantly on one object. Because the nature of the mind is to flow. So you try to, for example, you are trying to practice anapanasati. So because you want to attain jhana, you want to put your mind on your breathing, whether you're sitting or you're walking or you're standing or you're lying down, you want to maintain your mindfulness, unremitting mindfulness. But very soon, your mind runs away. And then you pull it back to the object, to your breathing. That is sati. Always putting your mind, remembering to put your mind on your object of meditation.
Now, you mentioned Anapanasati, arahants, he has constant concentration. He's constantly aware of self-breath. When he's talking, is he just aware of what he's talking, or is he aware of what his breathing and his talking?
No, he can only be aware of one thing at a time. So when he's talking, he's aware of his talking. And when he's already an arahant, he doesn't have to make the effort to be mindful. He doesn't have to make the effort to put his attention on the breath. It is before he becomes an arahant, he wants to put his attention on the breath. And basically the purpose of putting your attention on the breath or any other one object is to attain jhana. Once you attain jhana, then you will have quite automatic mindfulness. Okay, shall we take a few minutes break? You distribute the Udana book.